All right, Mike. So the second part of this discussion, first of all, we focused on performance goals. Now I want to focus a little bit more on development goals. Those are easily confused at times where people get mixed up between the two of them. Performance goals are more your actions that we have in place for you out there and your goals to meet on a daily basis in your department. But I want to focus a little bit more on development, and we talk about development in regards to you. Okay? So just thinking about that, I definitely think that you're someone that can go on to do better things, bigger and better things for sure. Part of it is just making sure that we have a roadmap in place for you to follow, and that we've got some goals in front of us. So in 3 to 5 years, Mike, where do you see yourself?
3 to 5 years, I like to be advanced in the company, whether it's in a general foreman role or whatever. I mean, I'm not too sure what's all out there, but I'm willing to explore my options and advance in my career here with Cargill. So
Good. Is that always going to be in Freona, or do you consider yourself being somewhat mobile?
as of Freona, Texas, I mean, I'm pretty mobile right now. I'm open to just about anything, just depending. I mean, I'm not too sure how to get to those resources, but
Sure, and we can definitely get you pointed in the direction of those resources. And no doubt, we're not in any hurry to lose you here, but definitely there's a lot more opportunities, outside of Freona, and Cargill is so huge in regards to opportunities. And being mobile will definitely open the door for more of those opportunities to become available. So, in regards to your development and having some goals in place there, looking at the leadership model here, where do you think that you would have some areas that you feel like you would need some development in?
Right now, as far as I'd like to spend some time probably in other parts of the business, as far as different departments, from seeing what they do on a day-to-day basis, and going back to the model. I mean, I think I have a challenge in front of me as far as motivating others, and I'm not too sure on how I stand as far as that, but
Okay.
I'd like to see other aspects of the business, and maybe shadow somebody here and there.
Sure. So definitely, it sounds like you learn more from on-the-job training or being out there on the floor. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever heard of the 70-20-10 rule, Mike?
No, not too familiar.
Okay, so what it is it's basically statistics, and those statistics show that about 70% of our learning comes from on-the-job training or out there on the floor in those areas. About 20% of that will come from a mentor or a mentee program, and then there's about 10% of that comes from in the classroom. So that's kind of the breakdown, and it makes sense now with what you're telling me that about 70% of that definitely would benefit you as well from the on-the-job training. So that's something we can definitely look at and get some good plans in place from that standpoint. The other one was motivating others, you said, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that one's a challenge at times too. It's hard to control the attitude of someone else, but it's definitely something that we can influence and motivate others to improve. And I'm sure that someone motivated you to continue to want to move up in the company and everything else. So the challenge on our plates every day is to make sure that those employees that work around us are motivated as well, and that they continue to work towards their goals too. So.
Okay.
From the seeing more of the floor and learning other areas and just seeing outside of yours, what do you think a good development plan would be for you in regards to get and see some other areas?
Maybe it's spending time in, I talked about other departments, but maybe it's, stay a week with shadowing a superintendent, or, I'm not too sure where I need to head with that, but I would like to, kind of just spend some time.
Sure, and I think that's a great idea. I think shadowing gives you a real life example of what goes on day to day in those areas. Perhaps it's a specs superintendent that you follow. Maybe we get you out of that production zone for a day and let you see another area and just kind of get outside of your comfort zone, think outside the box. But a spec superintendent would definitely be someone that could showcase all of those other departments. You could really see how our product impacts, and touches, Cargill as a whole, and it's just so much more than the area that we tend to work in every day. So I think that would be a great opportunity to see some of that. You feel okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, that'll definitely be one of the goals that we put down there.
Okay.
And then to ensure again that it's measurable, I'll come back with you in a couple weeks and see if you've had any discussions with that spec superintendent. You might let them know what you're planning on doing and make sure that that's okay. You guys kind of work the dates out and see what works best for your schedules. But I plan on coming back to it in a couple weeks to a month and seeing if we've got anything done there. Okay?
That sounds good.
Okay, from from a motivational standpoint, motivating others, like I said, I feel like that's very important. How do you feel like we can get some goals in place to motivate your employees?
Like I said, motivating. I think I do a good job. But I haven't really heard feedback, but just some examples out there on the floor. In the absence of my lead, I have several different employees that are willing to step up and try to gain that knowledge, and I'm there to support them and making sure that I give them the best chance to be successful, regardless if they're not the lead, but they're willing to step up. So I think motivating, I think I'm heading in the right direction with that.
And that's great, Mike. I think that's great examples of what you can do in day-to-day activities to develop others around you. Bench strength in a department is definitely something that's absolutely important. Because one day if we do move you into a general foreman spot, someone's going to have to pick up where you left off. And you having your department prepared to do that and having someone to replace you and just developing that talent around you will definitely prove to be huge for you in the end. So I encourage you to continue to do that and let people get into those roles and maybe get outside of their comfort zone and work in those positions as that time allows and permits. So great job on that, and that's a great example of developing others and motivating others around you to go beyond too. So your hard work definitely shows in everything that you do, Mike, and I appreciate all of that. You let me know if there's anything that we can do to help you. There's definitely all kinds of resources that we can refer you to, but at the same time, continue the course, and we'll continue to have conversations around this stuff to make sure that we're on track and that we reach our goals.
Sounds good.
All right, Mike, thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a good day.